Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It is a Sunday night. That means it is time for us to play some TTRPGs. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight we are back with Team High Clan, or Team Low Clan. Sorry, not Team
hmm
High Clan.
Sorry, the,
Team
the
Low.
better clan, the better clan. Let's
Uh,
be honest here.
we'll find out. We'll find out. That is a question that's going to be answered tonight, um, as we return to the island of Sicily for our Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages campaign. And we're going to go around, let everybody say hello, and who they're playing, and what their general feeling is after their Elysium last time. So why don't we start directly above me on the overlay with Arvandus. Hey, Jesus, welcome back. Thank you for being
Hey,
here.
how you doing? Oh, thank you, thank you. I'm doing great, and I'm here to play Pietro. I think I made a good impression today at or whatever this is, at the Elysium. I met some wonderful people, some people who could help me in my endeavors for import, exports, shipping, as well as individuals I am worried about. What was her name again? Giuseppe?
Giuseppina.
Josephina, yes. Something about her is I'm uncomfortable with. But you know what? If she can pay and is a good leader. As for who the leader could be in the future, well, that is something we can discuss later. But overall, I'm hopeful for the future.
Cool. Cool. Next up, hey PB, welcome back. How are you doing? How's life going for you?
Hi, I'm doing well today. I'm excited to be here and play Lena, our the vampy vamp. And after the Elysium, um, Lena's not too bothered by really anything. She met some interesting characters. Got the lay of the land. Honestly, honestly best case scenario for her. Usually, it takes a while to like roll up to a new city and like introduce herself to all the vamps in the area. This way, they all just congregated at once, and she was able to be like, "Hi, this is who I am. This is what's up." Oh, that's what's happening here, and that's what's going on. All right, this is the power play happening. That's cool. All right, thank you for the free food. All right, I'm heading out now. So that's like her energy coming out of this Elysium this
Okay.
this past evening.
Pretty solid energy. Pretty solid energy. Uh, Feeling it. We'll find out what happens. And last but certainly never least, hey Pope, how are you doing? How's life on your end of the spectrum?
Um, Hi, very glad to be here with Team Low Clan, playing Certain of Earth. Opinions on the Elysium? Um, well, that entire meeting could have just been a missive, and this is probably going to be some bizarre political, well, not bizarre. This is a political play by Lasombra to have a degree of separation between themselves and the political machinations of all the other kindred and the kind. Essentially, you are getting to choose the person who thinks that they have power, but they're just a pawn. Who would you like your middle manager to be? That is what this meeting is, and I have absolutely no say. So, really should have been this.
I. That's one thought. That's one point of view. I'm sure, however, that there were many other points of view. However, you all had a very pleasant, I understand, Elysium. Mostly politicking was going on. Some opinions were made. You met Ferran, the representative of Lysandra. And he decided to give you the opportunity to select a prince so that you could, have that prince swear fealty to whoever, well, probably the Sombra, and therefore solidify an actual power structure and hierarchy on the island, and maybe avoid any issues from perhaps northern people who think they have power. Or something like that. At least that's how it was portrayed to you all. You met some interesting people. There were some interesting conversations that were had. All of this led to an evening of you all leaving that evening with, opinions. And we're gonna just fast forward to the next night after the Elysium. Where do we find, because you all left, right? The politicking had continued and you all had left for yourselves. And people, I know that certain people wanted to do certain things afterwards. PB, remind me, you were going to do something in particular after the Elysium. I have in my notes that you wanted to do something.
Man.
If not, will come to us.
Was there something I wanted to do? Enjoy a wonderful rest of my evening before the sun rises, lavishing in the beautiful linens and enjoying the exotic fruits. That's what I'm doing with the rest of my night. Because I don't know what I wanted to do last night.
I, of course, as the brilliant GM, just made a brilliant note. It's like, PB wants to have thing after Elysium. Thinking, of course, that I would remember what the thing was.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I forget this is an every other week show, and I just kind of rely on my memory to be like, you'll remember for sure.
But she
Absolutely.
didn't remember. She didn't remember.
Narrator, she did not remember.
Nope. It's okay.
I have a feeling that it involved finding, well, either cavorting or finding out more about let me consult.
I want to tell you what some of my notes are from last
Okay.
time. It's not talking about her. The sailor has. So I just want you to know that I have very complete notes right now to describe what happened.
Wait, was it who had aura sight?
Not it.
Not me.
Oh wait, I have witness
was-
the dark, but I don't think that's aura
No.
sight. Is that?
No.
No. Okay.
No, but somebody scored high enough with just awareness to notice that Zubair had.
That was
That
me.
was Pietro?
Yeah, that was me. I noticed
Yeah,
he was
so-
the Diablerist. Yes.
Yeah, so you noticed that he was the Diablerist, and then PB said something, because that's what it is in my notes, is like, or Zubair has been noticed, and then it's PB wants to do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
who knows?
think it definitely
back
had
next
something to do with Josephina and
Yep.
Zubair, because that's, though I think it's more with Zubair because there was that ending where it was like Elena sort of politely implied the entire grabbing hold of me and dragging me places. That was your one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was
That was your one. You don't
Mhm.
get another one.
Yeah, that was the. I believe it was about something. I believe it was PB wanted to do something about finding out more about Zubair after the fact, because he was pulling the retail flirtation and guiding you over to Giuseppina. Believe that's where, but we'll come back to that because none of us remember. It's okay. I have other things we can talk about. I was like, hey, I have a note. I don't remember what it means.
Mm-hmm.
Need to take better notes. And this, everyone playing at home, is why taking notes is important. Even for your GM.
Mhm.
Just saying. Notes are important.
But also for those of us who watched last week's extravaganza, it was very distracting.
Yeah, decisions were made, which is why, I need to know what you all are doing as you rise for this evening.
Well, you know what? Let's just see if we can rise to that same occasion.
No, let's not.
Challenge
those of you-
accepted.
For those of you watching at home, Pope did watch last week's episode. Arvandus has not yet watched last week's episodes with the High Clan.
Mhm.
The bar is set low enough that Danny DeVito can trip over it.
Well then, let's do this.
So, we're going to start with, then we'll start with Elena rise. Well, we'll come back to Elena. We'll start with Sir Ludain rising for the evening in your monastery of out of the city limits of Syracuse. Nice, cool. The evening is slightly cooler than it has been. If we're using Fahrenheit, it's dropped down to like 70.
Oh, you mean it's actually pleasant?
Yes. Yes. It's pleasant.
So, again, Ludain is a creature of habit. It's like, okay, gotten up, say my prayers, check to just see if any missives have been left in strange places.
Not unless you're
of-
expecting someone from someone else. Something.
I'm the thing that I'm expecting, since there was this political mumbo jumbo, is I'm not expecting from the two most likely contenders to try and seek my approval. Instead, I'm suspicious that the Tremere is going to either try and seek my approval or somehow get me under her thumb. So it's like, okay, is there any sort of presents that have been left behind? No. Is there any sort of threats that have been left behind? No. I'm kind of disappointed, honestly. Like, you're letting your clan down.
Not that you've seen yet.
Again, but because I have not seen it and it hasn't been declarative in any way, shape, or form, but like, being subtle is not what the pyramid is known for.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am just like, okay, so am I going to? I should probably do my drills today, and we're going to be doing some practices, spell strikes, as I'm going. Okay, so there is a 50% chance of violence in tonight's menu, so might as well get limber and stretch.
50% chance of violence. I mean, hey Pietro, would you take those odds?
I was giving him like 70% odds, honestly. If I'm involved, 80, 90.
I mean, gangrel's gonna gangrel.
Gangrel's gonna gangrel.
Well, for all I know, you're still by the docks, so, and you had business elsewhere with the Ventru.
Oh, no. You graciously invited me into your home. I'm taking that opportunity. You didn't say I couldn't sleep in your church, but I'm gonna sleep in your church. Thank you, friend. And as I wake up that evening, actually in the middle of your drills, because I wake up a little bit later than you, because I'm tired.
You wake up an entire hour later.
Exactly, 100%. I'm gonna just stretch, see you doing exercise. Like, we're dead. We don't need to do. You know what? Never mind. And then I'm just gonna walk out. And my plan is today, if I can't speak with Sebastiano, is to basically, in my mind, in Pietro's mind, this deal is set. I can easily convince Sebastiano to give me the money I need. So what I need is a crew, because everyone else is either gone or perhaps killed by other people, not me. So I'm gonna go to the local taverns and just, look around, see if who needs people. It's like I've got a crew, got a job coming up in a couple of weeks, but I need some people to see like for the job. What do you bring to the table? So I'm just recruiting right now.
You're recruiting.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is correct. You did set an appointment with Sebastiano, but it was going to be later in the night, so you have
Yes.
time to go recruit your crew
Mm-hmm.
at various taverns along the dockside
Mm.
at various points.
Exactly.
I am just seeing a repeat of Pirates of the Caribbean 2 at this point.
I am also looking amongst them because all the ones I had before are dead. Which amongst them could be potentially ghouled by me? Because I go into torpor during the daytime, so I need uh trustworthy ghouls to protect me during the daytime while the rest of the crew do what they're supposed to do. I mean, I'm on a boat, but I'm not stupid. I mean, it's debatable, but still.
So in that case, you're looking for Kine
Yes.
for your crew. All right. I feel like this is a role.
Okay.
This is a charisma.
Oh no.
You have an option. You have two options here.
Mm-hmm.
You could do charisma leadership or manipulation leadership.
Let's go for manipulation. Oh, you're gonna have so many. You're gonna have benefits. We're gonna have so much money, and the money's spread around. I believe in a free system. Oh, but why would a captain need like a substantial amount of money? I think everyone can work together. Let's see if that works. Because I am totally lying. Bam. That is. Oh wow,
That
I
is
am a
three
liar.
successes.
I
That
am
is
a
three
liar.
successes. And I will say, with those three successes, you're gonna do pretty well. You will recruit yourself a decent crew.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, and the plan is like, okay, I give you, listen. You get money from people, but then they get money from people, and then they get money from people. It's like a pyramid, you see. And I'm the top of the pyramid, but you can also be part of the pyramid. And you know what? Everyone makes money. Everyone makes money.
every of the crew that you collect, we'll say about 15 crew members at this point, with space for more, but you're not recruiting everybody right away. So you got
Yeah.
15. Of those 15, 4 are people that you are pretty convinced you could ghoul.
Okay. I'm not gonna do it right away, but I'm just collecting, and once I get the ship and everything's set, then the magic happens.
Yes. So you can as you work your way through the dockside of Syracuse, you end up with 4 crew members that you're pretty sure will be decent, would be make pretty good ghouls, for a variety of reasons. Whether that's because you think that they would, be work hard, be trustworthy, or you could, once you ghoul them, it doesn't matter how trustworthy they are. They,
Yeah, I mean, I want ghouls that are competent.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ghoul anybody because you know what? You only get as good as you give.
yes.
Mhm.
And so, what does Elena do this evening as she rises?
Elena is going to she is going to lavish in the moment where she is in the villa. She'll walk out and she will like walk amongst the other villas, just listening into what is happening. Not looking for anything in particular, just when you're walking and hearing the passing conversations at like outside cafes and such. And she is contemplating she's kind of contemplating what it would be like to be so old. Like she met some vamps last night that were pretty old. Older than I could probably fathom, really. And especially with it was Josepina?
Giuseppina, yeah.
Josepina. Um, how the way she was speaking about how, I mean, all of us, human, what was our human lives? I don't know. Who remembers those? But she seems so very separated from her past and very, like, invested in just being a vampire and what it meant to be, like, at the I'm not going to say the end of her vampire journey, but she was definitely looking to be in her next, like she had reached the peak of being one, right? And now she was looking for something else. And Elena is really contemplating what that means for Giuseppina, especially when it comes to this like whole people in charge and stuff. And as I'm walking around the villa near this quarry, I'm gonna take a moment to look up at maybe it was something to do with the castle. It's gonna bother me for the rest of the session trying to remember what I wanted to do at the beginning of the session. I'm gonna look up at the castle where it's a castle, right? You'd consider it a castle where
Do not picture a Western European. Do not picture a Northern European castle. It's not the same kind of thing. Particularly at this point in Sicily, most of the villas, either in Palermo or in Syracuse, are readapted from Andalusian style. So very square, 2-3-story, maybe 4-story buildings. Very flat facade fronts for the most part, unless they're like public buildings, in which case they might have very ornate statues and a bunch of columns in the front. But flat facade fronts that open into courtyards that with windows on the sides, but most of those are small. This isn't also a northern Italian. At this point in northern Italy, the wealthier are building towers, so that you have to, and they would literally, it's kind of hilarious if you picture this, somebody in this picture of Medici in this vastly ornate heavy gown climbing in and out of a ladder because everything is on the second floor or above, and every night they pull the ladder in because there's no entry to the first floor to prevent people from breaking into their house. In Sicily, most of these are just flat facade buildings, small windows on the outside of the courtyard, but large ornate heavy doors that you come in, and it's very cooling, large atriums in the center, big open spaces to gather the wind off of the sea and let it cool the house. There are fortified spaces, but mostly those are former Roman fortified spaces or former Greek fortified. Well, no, none of the Greek spaces remain. So mostly Roman fortified, and then some former Arabian or former Islamic caliphate fortified. But it's very not what you think of as a castle. Like, I can get you a picture of one of these palazzos. And it is one of my favorite. I'm not going to lie. It is literally one of my favorite. Just stop. Go back. You kind of have like brick on the first floor, and then smaller windows, and then the second, third floor is stuccoed, and the windows are bigger, so that they actually are like doors that you can kind of step out onto, like that open into not quite balconies, but they probably were at one point, and they're just adapted now to be like those fake little balconies on the front.
Yeah. I mean, you need big windows if you need to throw out a ladder to climb up and down.
Yeah, they're less doing that in Sicily. They're less doing that in Sicily because of just reasons. Most of that's happening in the north. I want to get a good picture of the back of the outside of this one. Palazzo Cavallere. Yes. Reject. Give me gallery. All of these beautiful ones that they're showing you, all the beautiful interiors that they've redone, but they're not showing you the outside. Ah.
To add on to that, Coldrick, that's kind of where Alina's kind of at, where for her, that kind of power is so just whatever, that she has no interest in going up. She has more interest in just seeing people and places and things. And so this idea of someone staying there for so long and I guess growing up, as you put it, is kind of fascinating. Because at what point are you satisfied with a life, you know? And if you are satisfied with life, now what? If you're so determined to stay in one place.
Okay, so like this is a general image, and I took Coldrick's suggestion and put it in the like, so the only
large
thing,
apartment building.
Yeah, it literally is. So the only thing that would be new, as in new, that would not have been there in the 13th century, is the outside dining in the wrought iron balconies. Everything else on this outside exterior, it's like the umbrella tables, they aren't there, but there's probably like actual cloth awnings that stretch across the entire, maybe across the entire street, but maybe just to a certain point outside. Mostly they're like sheer windsail kind of things. And there were little balconies, like those doors on the upper floors would open to let cross breezes out. So they made things fancy in the 18th century when they put those wrought iron balconies on instead of the wooden ones. That's the great thing about Sicily, is like you look at these pictures and you're like, yeah, these are really beautiful. This is, from the 19th century. I'm like, no, this is from the 1400s. They haven't changed anything. They just put some new arches on the building.
Yeah, they just changed the access. They put new knobs on the cabinets. That's all they did.
Basically, for those of you playing at home and you're looking at the overlay that's on here, this is actually in Syracuse. The building that's behind Pope, or underneath Pope, is the cathedral in Syracuse, and that cathedral is the cathedral that would be existing in the 12th century, because it was completed in the 8th century. Mind you, it was converted from a Greek temple from the 5th century BC.
Recycling.
This building is just there. You're just going to be there. The age is there. It's fine. So lots of simple kind of places, and most of the fortified areas are fortified in ways that are just, let's reinforced and have like occasionally a bunch of hired guys to defend, but there isn't a lot of, how to phrase this politely, there isn't a lot of street crime in Syracuse. There's other kinds of crime, but there's not a lot of street crime. Not a lot of people worried about brigands breaking in. Not a lot of concern about breaking and entering, petty theft. Maybe a few street urchins who are going to pick your pocket, but that doesn't count, right? Like that's pickpockets are a different thing. B&Es, not that big a deal. Well, maybe they are, but they're not what people are concerned about, right? They're not concerned about the way this island is structured and the political system is designed. You always know the people who are the biggest threat to your pocketbook are the people who are nominally in charge, because they don't live on this island and they don't give a shit.
Yeah, it do be like that. So Alina looks up at this castle where La Sombra supposedly stays.
So we've gone all the way out to the castle of Castello dell'Ombra, which is outside the city.
Yeah, well, I don't go up to it, but wherever I can get a vantage point inside the city, looking out to it, if that's possible. If not, I do walk out of the city and go grab a vantage.
You can get it that far to it. The thing is that is a little bit different. The reason being, White Wolf, bless them, is a little bit not as aware of certain things. And their descriptions of the Castello are interesting, to say the least. I'm going to find their picture of it because, you know.
Oh.
No one in decided, well, no, there's actually one that's decent. It's just a giant rounded tower on a cliff face, slightly north and east of the city. You can kind of see it from the water. It's up there. But I hate most of their pictures because they basically take a very northern European castle and say, here, we're going to drop this in the middle of an island in the Mediterranean and use a, 12th, or, well, more accurately, 14th or 15th century rounded castle designed for cannons. And be like, here's your creepy castle that La Sombra's staying in. It looks very English, but it's fine. Yeah. I have always pictured in my head a more traditional castello that is would be in Sicily at the time, and I can show you that would be more accurate, because the problem is you need to have one that is not built by the Spanish in the 15th century. But there is a couple that were built later or earlier and are very based on Norman design, because there were a bunch of Normans that were there for a period of time. There's this one, which I think is actually the best of them all. This is technically in central Sicily, but it's okay. It's a giant rounded tower, but it's made of limestone and sandstone and looks like it belongs on the southern Italian island instead of, northern Europe.
That's really funny. But yeah, so I grab a vantage point just to look over at the La Sombra castle, and I stay looking at it for a while, almost trying to see if I see any movement over there, to see if it feels alive, I guess, because of the words of everyone. It feels like it's not very lively in there. And so I'll probably sit on like a wall or rooftop or something and just stare out at this this building, the La Sombra home, for probably like an hour. Just seeing, almost like when you're a kid and you're trying, and there's that creepy house in the neighborhood that everyone's just like, is it abandoned? Does a really elderly person actually live there, and are they actually a witch? Like that sort of 80s sort of narrative. I kind of am gonna do that sort of thing of just sitting out there and just being like, is anyone even in there? Like, is everyone kind of like full of themselves, saying that La Sombra and people are actually there?
I feel like what you need then is a perception awareness, or is this
I'm
an
so good at
investigation?
this.
Or is this an investigation? I will let you pick. Do you want? This could be you're trying to find specific information. So I would say you could make this an intelligence and investigation or perception awareness. You're going to get slightly different information, but
I think to go with the narrative of, is anyone even in there? Like, who? It feels more investigative to me rather than I'm trying to spot something in particular, I guess.
that works for me.
This is a D10 system.
Yep.
Also, I actually have points in investigation as opposed to
I'm okay
awareness.
with letting
A
you.
shock to everyone, apparently.
That's what you type on this, right?
Yep.
2 successes.
2 successes. So, it's not hard. There is movement in this castle. There is people going in and out, but all of them
Your little
like,
ladders.
well, no, there is actual fortifications, and there is like a it kind of is built into the cliff. So there's a road leading up the cliff. You see, there are tradesmen who are coming back from their day back to the city. You do see lights on in the castle. 1 or 2 of which are tinged a very disturbing kind of green. Like that's a little off. You see cook fires. You definitely see people on the parapets walking around. You would have to get closer to kind of get like any more feel of it, but it does feel like there are people there. But it definitely feels closed in some manner, right? Like this is not somebody who you can just drop in on. This is even for, if you were a dignitary, it would be very hard for you to just kind of show up. You know, this is crashing waves and dark shadows that lengthen behind them, and you at various points the shadows seem to move in and of themselves. The light doesn't do what it's supposed to be doing. You see a window that the lights were in a moment ago, and then you just see heavy shadows kind of descend from above and envelop the light of that window, and then continue downward, and then the lights are back. The shadows don't obey nature in this space. And there's an overall feeling that you don't even need to roll for of, maybe you shouldn't be here. Like, it might not be good for your health to be here.
Yeah.
In your continued undead existence. Just,
Yeah. Extremely uninviting. Very much murder house feeling kind of energy. Okay. As I'm sitting there and kind of just growing a little bit more concerned, disturbed about what I am seeing, I will hop off the roof and I will meander into town, kind of like strolling near like the docks wherever like sailors may be. I am in particular just casually looking for Sir Ludain and Pietro, the two individuals I met last night, and they had a distinct smell of fish, and so I'm assuming they are somewhere in this general vicinity.
I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of fish on this city, but yes, go for it.
And like the general piratey vibe of Pietro, you know, I grabbed some context clues. Sir Ludain could quite literally probably be anywhere, although his like chivalrous, knighty kind of demeanor, probably, I don't know, in like some church somewhere, but the pirate dude probably somewhere near the water. So that's what I'll start off first.
Yep. Then as you get closer to the water, Sir Ludain, you have an appointment with Sebastiano. We'll come back to that in a minute. No, Pietro has a meeting with Sebastiano. We'll come back to that in a minute. Sir Ludain was coming in, was training, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Cool. Can I get perception awareness, please, and thank you?
Certainly, I'll spend a willpower.
They come back, it's fine.
It just seems prudent. They do come back.
Reminder to players, you can always spend a willpower to get an automatic success.
Yep.
Ooh, a 10.
Okay, that's 4 successes so far.
Plus the one you spent, so 5.
5, yep.
So 5.
Just 5.
Just 5. 5
Just
is a very
an exceptional success.
Just an exceptional success. With that 5, you are aware, sir, you are a fighter, you are a soldier, a knight. Someone is watching you. They are not, it doesn't feel threatening, but it does feel calculated. And you would know with that exceptional success, they are outside the bounds of your haven in a way that's, I am just outside your boundary line. I am not across your boundary line. You can't get mad at me because I am on the road and not on your property. But I'm watching you.
If you wanted lessons, my prices are quite reasonable.
Ooh, are you being threatening or inviting?
I leave that to the interpreter.
You leave that to the interpreter. Well,
I'm not even looking at them.
okay. Okay. A moment passes, and a kind of rough-looking individual. He looks like he's a sailor. Short-cropped hair and beard. More of the Italian, Sicilian look. Slightly darker skin, but definitely of, not North African. Open shirt where you can see a very large tattoo across the center of his chest. And a kind of like smirky smile on his face. Approaches. Again, does not cross your boundaries, does not get in your space, but
This is the same individual I saw at the Elysium speaking, off in the corner speaking with the representative from Lysandra.
yes.
Okay.
You are very interesting.
I'm really not.
Others would disagree. I have information for you.
Nothing is free except for mercy from the divine. So, what is the price for this information?
Nothing, actually.
Hmm,
I was told to give it to you.
I see.
You are northern.
Quite.
There are those who would like to have a balance on this island.
Is that the young folk or the old folk?
Some of each.
Doesn't matter. The opinion only matters the person who truly rules this island.
Also true. A wise individual that you are.
I'm old enough to know better.
It's why it's such a pleasure to do business with some people like you. My lord desires a balance of opinions and thoughts, mostly to avoid political interlopers.
As long as there are representatives to the right political leanings, they're both represented. I guess the Sombra thinks that a peace can be met. And he doesn't have too many others sniffing about his.
I mean, I don't think he truly cares about that the way you.
He cares about being bothered. That's what he cares about. And having enough of the right kind of blood to feed on. So Syracuse is going to be open for business so he can maintain his lifestyle.
All of these factors are true. My lord desires to know if there are any from your, not bloodline, but, and this is Deirdre forgetting a word because she is thinking in the wrong language. Because the connotations of ancestry wouldn't be the right word here, because that would be talking about your vampire and your human lifetime of are there anybody you know who's going to be coming down from the neighborhood, from those isles up to the north that are giantly uncivilized? That's the word that I'm looking for.
They're concerned about the barbarians.
Yes.
Okay.
He's nominally concerned about the barbarians. He nominally wants to know about the barbarians. I don't know if he's concerned about them, but he wants to know about them.
Well, there are definitely those of my community who would enjoy the weather, some of the wine, and many of the women.
I don't know that we can blame him for any of that, though. It's all inherently better than anything you'd had up there.
Well, for a while there, like, most of them didn't bathe. But...
And there's a look of just a pause on his face, because he is literally a sailor, right? Like, you can tell this man, regardless of anything else that he has done, lives by the sea. And the concept of not even just jumping into the water is so foreign to him to be incomprehensible.
No, the bath would be maybe once a week. Definitely once a month. But no, for the most part, those that are of my ilk are more interested in the pilgrimage to the Holy Lands. They're not interested in Sicily. Their eyes are on shinier jewels, baubles, promises of bloodshed and coin.
Fair. I think
Now,
you.
if the kind start causing, a war somewhere within France, or if the hostilities resume between the Pope and the Emperor, well, many of us want coin. War means coin. Then they'll show up. But as things stand now, not so much.
Your frankness is appreciated. I have been told to offer you a gift for your time and information. He
Is
does
this
not
another-
use the word boon.
Is this gift another one I'm going to have to find a nice tree to bury it near?
No. That, by the way, was not our gift.
Good.
This gift, perhaps you might say, came naturally. And he kind of like doesn't bow to you, but it's not a sense of not bowing to you in a because he views you as a caitiff and therefore lower. This is someone who doesn't bow to anybody, but perhaps Lord Lasombra, right? Like,
Yeah, there's degrees. There's degrees. I get it.
and this is probably he didn't bow to anybody when he was alive, and then there was Lord Lasombra, and he's like,
Pirates, Sicily, I get it.
Yeah, there's a very strong pirate vibe. You hang out with one, he kind of is one.
Some people wear their profession on their chest in this case, so it makes sense.
That's fair. It is wearing his profession on his chest. Yeah, so it's kind of like a nodding bow, and he just kind of places a small bag. Small, slightly larger than like a coin purse, but not like a sack.
Yeah.
Slightly bigger than a bread box kind of thing.
How many of the legionaries back in the day were paid in salt? Those same sort of leather pouches. Okay, got it.
A little bit bigger than that, maybe.
Okay.
Something you could perhaps fit like 5 or 6 peaches in, rather than just a kilo of salt. So a little,
a little larger.
A little bit larger, but not, not say a soccer ball.
Yeah.
And he puts that just at the boundary line, and then steps back and away. If you were watching him, you would notice that it's very obvious he is using celerity to leave. He's not fading into the shadows. And he's gone.
No. I walk over to the boundary, waster in hand, use that to poke open the bag, see what's inside.
On the top, there are a bunch of gold coins.
I'm healthy enough, I can lose a hand. And go ahead, pick up the bag, take it inside, and actually, no, I'm not going to take it inside. They're standing outside of the threshold of my domicile. I will see what's in this bag.
There are a number of small bottles, small perfume-sized bottles, maybe an inch,
Yeah.
inch and a half. They're all stoppered and they're all sealed in wax.
Well, since I've done with somebody who practiced alchemy.
Yes, these are actual variety of things. And they're all sealed on the top of the wax with, if you have knowledge of alchemy, the common alchemical symbols for certain things. Health, vitality, these are, it's a gift for your wellness.
I got a Bath and Body Works bag. Got it.
With gold.
They didn't have scented candles that often, so they had to pad it in some way, shape, or form.
They did have scented candles. All candles were scented. Now some of them were incense, but but
yeah.
But a lot of but these are, you would have to open them to get a better evaluation of the actual alchemy involved.
That requires me to visit somebody that I don't feel like visiting. So
Really? Okay. Mm-hmm.
But well, one, I'm not going to show off my swag bag to the Tremere. And
and this is a freebie that you don't have to roll for?
Yeah.
There's no scent of that Tremere on anything in this bag.
No. This is from somebody much more potent who has somebody who does this in-house.
Yeah.
I am not going to look a gift alchemist in the mouth.
No.
But if I was going to seek out somebody who actually knew what all of this meant, there are very few people that I trust on this island. I would more likely leave this island and consult with someone else off of it.
I will say that if you have basic knowledge of alchemy, all the little wax symbols that are there, and none of them are threatening. There are no poisons. Yeah. There's no, there's no quote unquote, nothing that is intentionally harmful.
I look at this and I bring it inside, going into the basement of the monastery.
Mm-hmm.
And in the same little corner where I keep the sundries from my journeys that occasionally get used as bribes, I will place the bag. I'm going to transfer the coins out of it.
There are about 100 gold coins here.
Oh, excellent.
So, it's a civilized swag bag. It's like a...
Yeah. No. I have enough to mildly impact the market over the course of a week.
Yes.
But yeah, that put that into my separate coffers, and then now that one individual has, I knew someone was going to end up on my doorstep. I just didn't know whom. But considering whom it was, I now know why the Tremere hasn't shown their face. It's because they didn't want to step on the toes of a representative of somebody for somebody greater than them.
Mm-hmm.
So now is as good a time as any. I am fairly certain that Pietro is going to get himself into some form of trouble. I now have some coin, which may buy us out of that trouble, or buy us into said trouble. So I will take 25 of those coins. I won't go in full armor. I'm just going to put on a nice gambeson, have my sword with me, and go out, see what's up, in case, there's any... Though I haven't really encountered many ruffians causing a scene in too many places. Most of these people are well behaved. But if somebody does decide to, make themselves a nuisance, I am a little bit peckish.
You can roll for that hunt if you want, because I understand that you're a little bit peckish.
I am not full in hunting mode. It's more along the lines of if it happens, I have multiple excuses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I am I am not directly hunting. This is more I'm acting more as an ambush predator at this point, going to the watering hole. If somebody wants to start something, by all means. Um, but if not, we can all just live together in harmony.
Yes. Okay. We'll come back to that. Hey, Pietro,
Yes.
you're pretty sure that your meeting time with Sebastiano is available.
Well, then I will immediately go over there and first, this Pietro will go over there and have a meeting with Pietro to discuss the business that I wish to cater to.
Um, he had given you directions to one of the larger palazzos on the on the main portion of the city, just outside the old town. Remembering, of course, that the old town is the original, um, the original Greek settlement, and therefore was on the outskirts of the island. And so the original is, and so this is a little bit on the outside of that. It's outside the city walls. Um, Further, you know, not south of this, kind of south of the city, almost as if somebody didn't want to get too close to perhaps a really big, you know, castle that might draw attention.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Then Pietro will travel over there and do what he needs to do to meet Sebastiano.
Um, he has given you uh, a, you know, as you approach, there's a very obvious ghoul dressed in a surcoat and gambeson, um, that greets you. Lord Sebastiano is expecting you. Please, this way.
Of course. And I follow behind.
Um, he leads you not into the palazzo itself, but kind of like just down from it to like a small taverna. Um,
Hmm.
that is mostly empty. Sebastiano is
Okay.
sitting at one of the tables on the inside, and there is another ghoul at the bar,
Hmm.
but no one else
Hmm.
is here. The ghoul in livery bows and leaves, and the bartender, Sebastiano gestures the seat across the table for him as the bartender approaches with a tray and two glasses.
Uh, I take a seat and take a glass.
It's a very nice blood wine.
I take a sip because I fully trust Sebastiano. What reason would he have to poison me? Even though I can't really get poisoned, I'm a vampire, but still.
And not for nothing, it's a very nice blood wine. Um,
Mm.
and just a very simple, and you don't taste anything that tastes like, attempted blood bonding. But again, Ventru, so he's not really
Yeah,
going to do that.
true, true, true.
God bless him.
Mm.
So you proposed business.
Yes, of course. Now, as I mentioned before, I am masterful at acquiring goods from individuals that some would consider enemies of Italy. So
Sizzle.
I the but the problem, of course, right now is I currently do not have a ship to acquire these goods. I had a I will fully admit to you, I had an incident. I had many successful years, but then after this incident, I no longer have a ship. But if someone of your caliber could perhaps give me the resources to acquire a ship, and I'm already working on getting a crew, I can go back to business, and of course, a portion of whatever I acquire will, of course, go to you. Well, this is really good. Mm.
Hmm. I have some knowledge of you. I
Do
did
you
do
know?
some background checks, of course. We're
Of
doing
course you did.
business.
Of course.
We
And all you found everything good. I'm assuming.
nothing to speak of to anything that I would object to.
Of course.
That was just a question of numbers
Oh.
and how much my percentage is going to be.
Ah, yes. Well, you do remember that I am doing most of the work, the shipping and the seizing and the fighting and etc., etc. Now, of course, you gave in the initial payment, which I am more than willing to pay off eventually. But of course, and as a business, you get first pick of whatever items I carry
Hmm.
for a reasonable price, of course.
Would you
But you
accept?
always have, hmm?
Perhaps you would accept certain recommendations for
Recommend. Mm.
targets.
That it depends. As long as it's not targets that would cause me future trouble, you understand. I, of course, will fight enemies of Italy, but if you want, say, a rival, that will come with extra costs.
No, if I'm getting, it would not be anybody who would be involved in any kindred issues. It would only be kind
Ah,
ships
all right, all
carrying
right.
work or items that perhaps might be of our benefit.
Interesting, interesting. Now, these aren't kind that are perhaps of Italian descent, are we?
Well,
That
not
could.
Sicilian. Maybe a couple
Ah,
Venetians wouldn't be a problem, right?
no, of course, of course, of course. Again, we are Sicilian, but we are still, one could say, attached by a small river, one could say, to Italy. We don't want to cause too much trouble.
I'm very this is me as an outsider being very intrigued. So, does Pietro actually think of himself as Italian? Because at this point, Italy doesn't exist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Venetian merchant princes are the dominant um carriers of the sea, right? Like the what happens is basically everything from the Silk Road comes east or comes west from China and India and Persia and ends in Anatolia, Greece, or
Mm-hmm.
the Greek, or not Greek, Turkey. That was a mistake that would probably get me into a lot of trouble with certain people.
Yep.
Um, into Turkey, and the Venetians control all the sea trade across the Mediterranean.
Ah, okay.
And
So
so
apart, I will be
Italy
on. Go
Italy
ahead.
itself doesn't exist and won't exist until 1861. Um,
Ah,
it's just a
okay.
bunch of it's at this point is just a bunch of city states, or in the southern portion of Sicily and Naples is kind of controlled by the Holy Roman Empire at the moment.
Okay, then forgive my ignorance. Was not aware of that
No,
fact. I'm
it's
not a
it's
historian major.
it's
Uh,
okay. It's like, but at this point, it's like there wouldn't be any expectation of getting along with anybody
oh,
else on the island on the
then
peninsula.
fuck those guys.
Yeah,
Sicily 100%. I am stealing from all of those Venetian bastards.
yeah. Go right ahead. When I
Okay.
say like Venice is so much in control of the Mediterranean, particularly the Eastern Mediterranean at this point, that um, they make just as much money ferrying troops for the Crusades as they are in trade goods, to the point that two Crusades, the popes legitimately said, you have to walk. We can't afford to pay the Venetians, so you have to walk rather than take the boat.
Then in that case, by the way, I'm gonna establish right now. I am a Sicilian pure blood all the way. I was born and raised here, turned into a vampire here.
Then you go.
F
You're
fuck the Venetians. I'm
yeah. That would
Sicilian
be
100%.
that would
Yes.
be a general viewpoint for most people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an important thing, and this is why I'm giving you this information as your
Okay.
GM, because I am that level of nerdy historian. It's to the point that there is no common really language that exists. Like, and when I say there's no common language, the Italian language won't exist as it's currently defined until Mussolini.
Ah.
And even then, all Mussolini does is he takes the Tuscan dialect and says, "This is our official language now." But even now in Italy, particularly in Sicily or in Rome or in Naples, is a really big, heavy dialect that you basically, if you ask somebody who's Italian and somebody who's Neapolitan to talk to each other, if somebody who's speaking Neapolitan, they will not be able to understand each other. It's so vastly different. It's not even considered like the same language or just very different sounds.
Mm-hmm.
You end up with a lot of infighting because of that.
Okay, then. Yeah, so of course, Venetians will also be a target as well. Whatever you desire. As long as it's not Sicilian, I'm all right.
No, I have no desire to attack our own ships.
Of course.
But why pay taxes to the Venetians if we don't have to?
Of course. I mean, those bastards don't deserve a penny.
I heard they finally put that relic that they have on display.
Oh, did they now? I heard about it. Which one was it again?
Saint Mark's arm.
Oh.
And I heard they took Agrippa's horses to mount on the front of their cathedral, claiming that they're Catholic now.
Are they now? Oh, that is interesting. I guess the politics pushed them in that direction. I am not a fan of those who, well, use faith in a political means, which is, well, let's be honest, everyone. Is there any news of this arm? Is it already where it's supposed to be? Is it being traveling somewhere, perhaps?
No, they've already put it on display.
Ah, how unfortunate.
In this vastly ostentatious cathedral that they built.
That's what they do.
But
Mm-hmm.
perhaps if one was to liberate some other things from them, they would feel the pressure and pay attention.
What sort of things? One could ask questioningly.
They currently control all the trade in spices.
Ooh, there is much money in spices.
I have a number of contacts in Cyprus and Tyre that can give us information about when those ships are leaving and what perhaps might be interesting to us on their manifests.
So, as I understand it, in this private meeting with you, me, and this ghoul who doesn't matter, I apologize.
He has no will of his own. He's mine.
Of course. And you do a good job. But you're suggesting that perhaps be my contact for information on shipping, which would, of course, require you to have perhaps a more substantial percentage than usual, correct?
If I'm fronting the money for the purchase of the ship and providing information, I do believe I deserve a slightly larger cut than perhaps.
That's fair. Oh, with the ultimate aim of paying off my debt for the ship. You understand, I want it to be mine eventually.
Your desire to pay off the ship, I fully support. And then once the ship is paid off, we can renegotiate the terms of our continued business.
Of course. And if you provide information about future spices, well, that's a quicker way for me to pay off the ship. Which a path I'm more than willing to go through. I feel like this is the beginning of a beneficial agreement between us, correct?
I think so.
So do you have perhaps, because the money is one thing, but do you have perhaps know of a ship I could purchase? Or should I look for that on my own? Which I'm more than willing to do, or just, curiosity.
I know 3 men at the harbor who would be more than happy to sell to you.
Interesting. You are a go-getter. I appreciate that. That's future Prince material.
Yes, a lot of people are pushing my name forward.
Are you interested in that, though? That's the question.
I recognize that this position of prince is merely a figurehead and would
True.
obviously be the first person that La Sombra would definitely eat if they were angered.
True. Potential for power, but potential for retribution. Yes.
I think I prefer to be slightly more subtle in my power.
I appreciate a man who does not need to have the stars upon him to have power. You understand the power of being a background character, one could say. Because the one in front tends to be the focus of any retribution.
And I personally think of the 2 remaining options that they're putting their names forward, unless you were attending to do so.
Oh, I have no intentions. As of right now, I'll be honest, I have no interest in the Tremere. And don't put this out there, hate Tremere with a passion. But the other one, Giuseppe, whatever her name is. Giuseppina, something, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. As a friend, as a future business partner, something about her I'm not sure about. Something sets off my senses in an uncomfortable way. Maybe you understand what I'm trying to say here.
Oh, don't you know her clan?
I do not.
She wears it like her veil.
I am rather ignorant when it comes to clanhood. There's Gangrel and there's everybody else. I apologize.
She's a Cappadocian.
Cappadocian. They're the undead ones, aren't they?
They're religious fanatics who believe in necromancy.
Ah, that's a thing. So the options are a necromancer or a blood mage.
Honestly, I'd take the necromancer over the blood mage.
True, me too.
She honestly has true faith, at least one thing.
That is true. At least, and the blood mages are basically thieves of our divinity. Well, not divinity, our night divinity, blood divinity. What would you call us, honestly?
Damned.
That works. But yes, it's. Oh, that's an uncomfortable one. Necromancer or blood mage? I mean, arrogant assholes are worshippers of the dead.
Not worshippers, controllers.
That makes me not as comfortable. Because if they are already trying to control the dead, aren't we technically dead?
Not the same kind, and at least they don't fuck them.
That's a thing?
You would be not surprised. Although I'm kind of concerned at your undead existence going this long and not being aware of the massive amounts of things like that happens.
You know, in hindsight, that makes a lot of things I've witnessed make a lot more sense. But anyway, moving on from necrophilia. Yes, that's... Actually, let me ask you. Of the 2 current options, there may be more in the future, what would you prefer?
I'm always of the opinion of fuck the Tremere.
You and... Same heart. You and I.
I honestly... If I could get her elected long enough to then arrange for her to be eaten, that would be my ideal goal, but I can't guarantee at the moment. I don't... Unless you know somebody in Lord Lasombra's court.
Not personally. However, I wouldn't suggest eaten. It's still looked down upon by many. If you get my drift.
Oh no, we'd give her to Lord Lasombra. She'd guarantee to be deserved.
Oh no, give him to... Oh, never mind. So no, I thought you were... I thought for a minute you wanted to personally eat her. That would have been a faux pas.
No.
Oh no.
And he kind of reaches over and goes, I understand now why you need a financial backer. Let me do the politics, you do the murdering and pillaging.
You understand me perfectly well.
No, it would be politely arranging for her to do something to anger Lord Lasombra and have him take her out. But I don't know enough people in his court yet.
yet. It feels like you have plans.
It's never a bad thing to have plans to know who the current lord of this island.
Hmm. I believe you and I will have many a business deals in the future. I would be mutually beneficial.
All right,
We
then.
understand each other, what I will say.
Let me give you a. And he kind of just snaps his fingers, and the ghoul bartender brings you a piece of paper with three names on it. These are three men that are have decent sized ships, have certain debts outstanding to various individuals that would be willing to take anybody's money and not ask questions.
Ooh. So am I understand I'm choose one of these ships? Do you have a preference, or should I just interview each and personally decide which one fits my MO?
You are the individual with the ship and the sailing expertise.
Hmm.
I know when one is leaking and will sink, and that is about it.
I
So I,
appreciate a person who knows how to delegate properly.
again, you may leave. It is your discretion of which as you think is the best.
Thank you. I will interview them and let you know, and of course the pricing arrangements, and we'll discuss with contracts, percentages and such later. Thank you for your audience. And you, Ghoul, good job on the blood wine. It was very bloody. Goodbye. And I walk out.
Ciao.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that's where we're going to take the break because I believe Ludain and Elena are going to meet back up with Pietro, and I feel like this is a perfect time to have a break for the evening, for a
Woohoo.
stretch, bio, refresh, do all of those wonderful things,
Hmm.
and then we'll come back, and I'm sure nothing's going to go wrong. Political maneuverings happening. I am very intrigued by the fact that currently the low clans are more politically savvy than the high clans.
High clans are the reason we can't have nice things.
Yeah, that is. Now I need to listen to that game now because that is hilarious.
I want next time we come, we'll have to wait to see what Arvandus thinks because we're going to have a couple things happen in between when we come back. So
Hmm.
take this time, everybody, stretch, bio, refresh, do all of those good things, and we will be back soon.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We hope you're refreshed, stretched, bio, did all the good stuff, so that now we can dive back in, because I do believe that Pietro, where can you be found now?
After my meeting with Sebastiano, I, of course, uh, well, tonight's probably not the best night to talk with those individuals. So, of course, I'm going to the church to relax, reach my notes, and just consider all the things I've been talking. And, of course, talk to my friend Soludane about whatever he's doing. Still training. I don't know why he bothers to train. We have undead bodies. We don't need to train, but whatever.
The judgment in that look. So much judgment in that look. Okay, so I think to make this easier, because Elena was looking at the docks for Pietro because she could find him based on his smell.
I don't smell that bad, but fine, whatever.
You embrace.
You have the natural musk of the sea, friend.
So does everybody on that level of the island. You're hanging out that much on. It's not like you're a fisherman, but there's a lot of salt water in your life. So why don't we say then that Elena can find Pietro as he is going to look for Suludane.
All right, then, yeah, 100%. So Pietro, as he's traveling up to see it, he sees, I assume, Elena just traveling up towards me, scenting my scent. Just going like, Elena, what's surprised that you're here? I thought you would be off prancing around the height of the ball and whatever so high social things that's happening. I honestly do not know. I am not part of the proper circles here, but I'm glad you're here. How are you today? Or this night?
Well, the fancy parties aren't until later in the week at least.
Oh.
But I am here to see you, actually, and
Me?
Sir Ludane, if he is around.
Well, he's at his church training. I still don't know why he bothers to train, but, well, he likes to do the things he did as he was alive. It's this thing that stuck with a lot of those who are, as a former socialist just said, is damned. But, he likes to believe part of him is still alive and believes in that the God above will forgive him for his sins of existing. Anyway, do you want to see him?
Absolutely.
All right,
Love
let's go.
to hang out with you tonight.
Of course, let's go to his church that should be a pig pen, but apparently it's a separate area. I did not know at the time. Let's go.
And let us go, and you can tell me more about this pig pen.
Yes, I keep telling him he should just combine the pig pen with the church. It's very efficient, but no, it's a separate area, much more space. The extra space could hold like various items, like spices and stuff. You could, what? Never mind. Let's go. And we all both travel over to the church.
I think they're going to arrive shortly, just as Sir Ludane is preparing to leave after his conversation with an individual.
I love the idea of like he is fully he has his gambesson on, money pouch, has a sword, is locking up the monastery, turning to leave, and there they are.
Hello, my bestest friend, Sir Ludane. Lana, Sir Ludane. We met last time at Elysium, but we're here today to meet each other as a triple force in this city. That honestly, we don't know much about each other. Actually, Elena, I've never seen you around before. Like, are you part of the city, or like you've been around a while, or what's the situation?
I'm here just to visit, see the sights of Sicily. I've heard much about it, and I thought it was high time I visited, especially while a lot of the rest of this area is very... times are changing in a lot of those areas, and it's kind of a vibe killer. So I heard good things about Sicily, so I thought I'd find the way down.
Then
Times are changing.
That is true.
This will not be pleasant for much longer.
Was it pleasant before?
Yes, but it was a disputed territory. But now, due to time and kindred politics, things are settling.
And that
That is bad.
that is an issue. And it's all determined by who will eventually become prince of this particular city. I know for a fact Sebastian
Oh, princes.
princes with an S. You think there might be a conflict?
I think that there is going to be at least two, if not multiple, cities on this tiny island that are going to find themselves with a micro tyrant to help keep the wolves at bay.
Then I will say let's focus, at least for now, on the tyrants that will be in charge of our particular city. As of right now, I know for a fact Sebastiano has no interest in becoming prince. So right now,
Sebastian wants to live. Good.
yeah, oh yeah, he's a smart one. That one, he knows how to play the political game. He knows that becoming prince is a death sentence, 100%. The first time the Sonna becomes angry, much. No, 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 no. Right?
Okay, so we have to wait to install him in power once the Sombra is actually slumber. Got it.
Yeah, 100%. So right now, our two options are
No, we only have
necromancer.
one option then.
No, no, of course, yes. The necromancer of the Tremere. The Tremere is not an option, so just the necromancer as of it is right now. The Cappadocian.
She's Cappadocian.
She's Cappadocian. Which apparently is a necromancer thing I did not know.
They consult with spirits.
Which is not a bad thing.
I've heard rumor that they might be able to not resurrect the dead, but animate them.
I mean, I'm all right with that. I mean, we're already undead. What's the matter? The only problem is not a fan that she's associated with, what was it, Zuhar, the man who diaborized. Zubir, that's his name. He's seems a man comfortable with diaborization. I'm a big fan of that, 100%, but, you know.
Within our society, there are uses for those who have that degree of thirst and malleable morality.
I am surprised you would say something like that, my friend. As someone who had a reaction when I mentioned that fact before.
I find it personally incredibly distasteful and dishonorable. But individuals like myself typically do not rule. We aid those who do.
True. Ilana, what is your opinion?
On the political climate here in Sicily? I'm very much more let's sit and wait to see what happens type of person. So, interacting too much with those in the higher clans tends to
higher clans
cause issues.
True. So Ludain, what are you heading off to? You're closing off the night at least this point of the night. You had plans?
I recently came into some coin. I was going to see about spending it.
Oh, it sounds like a party. I'll join you.
I wasn't intending for a party, but okay.
Then I will make it a party. I mean, Sir Ludain, I love you like a brother, but you are so boring sometimes. Let's have a party tonight. Let's celebrate your new wealth. And well, actually, what was your original plan with this wealth?
I was going to go to the evening markets, find folks that are down on their luck, purchase a few items, and see if there's anybody being truly distasteful, because I am a little bit peckish, but I don't necessarily need to eat.
Oh, let's make it a lunch trip then. Sorry, a dinner trip. Let's go and find people who are distasteful for you. I also tend to find people who are my preference is to whoever's nearby, but you know, I prefer to suck dry those who are wouldn't be missed by most, as you say.
I can respect the sentiment, just We need to work on refining your vocabulary.
I have a fantastic vocabulary. I speak with those of the higher clan all the time, and they say I am quite eloquent.
Can I get each of you to make me a strength occult check?
Strength occult.
That's an interesting combo.
Occult.
Okay.
5, 6, 7.
If that's the case, I would like to spend a blood, please,
To do what?
to increase my strength for the scene.
Oh, go right
Question: would my potence help in this or no?
ahead. Yes.
That's just damage.
That's
Oh,
just
That's just damage.
It'll
Okay,
help.
just one.
It might help you if you get damaged.
Okay, then let's find out.
Can I add a willpower to this one?
Yes, you can.
So I get two
yeah, that
successes.
sounds a good idea as well. Let me spend another willpower.
Yes, you get 2 successes.
Yes, because a 1 gets rid of 1, so yeah, 2 successes.
Because you rolled before you had made the. I gave everyone else permission. Did you want to also spend a willpower?
No, I already made the roll. I'm
Okay.
keeping it.
Oh, that wasn't the end. Oh gosh, where is my mouse? That I found where my mouse was.
That's good. Finding your mouse is always a good thing.
It's okay. I had 1 success
No successes.
with my willpower. It's a 1 success.
Oh, with
Oh,
your
okay.
willpower is 1 success.
yeah.
Cool.
8 successes.
8 successes for the knight. 1 success for
Sheesh.
the Ravnos. And what was it? 2 successes for the
Yep.
Gangrel. I love
Yep.
how this is going to work because for a variety of reasons. You feel a sensation. It is almost like your blood, your innards, your entire being is being pulled violently away from you. If you were to look around, the shadows are pulled away. The darkness around the moon seems gone, and the light of what should be a waxing moon is brighter. But that burning sensation you feel. Sir Ludain, you will take no damage. Elena, you will take 4 bruised.
Oh, 4 bashing.
4
Okay.
bashing. 4 bashing. Well, they're calling it bruised in this edition.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pietro, you take 3 bruised.
Okay.
Bruised can be healed relatively easily by just
Spending blood.
well, also time.
Mm-hmm.
So bashing, bruised. So if you are bruised to injured for you, it takes so Pietro, it would take about 3 hours. Elena, it's going to take you about 4 hours to heal.
Okay.
There is no visible wound. It just feels like something tried to pull your entire innards out through your spine.
Ow. What was that? What by God was that?
And then it stops.
What was what?
I was in horrendous pain for literally a second. Like something was being pulled out of me. Ilana?
Literally like on the ground, like huddled over. It's like you say Elena and I just go over in your direction.
Mm-hmm.
And I look around to see what it was, and you described it all becoming very dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
No. brighter than it should be. The shadows are
Oh.
gone.
What?
It should be. You have candles and torches at various points along the fence posts or walls. The shadows that those lights are casting are gone. The shadows across the moon and that were the trees in the area, olive trees or buildings, gone. Your shadows are gone.
That is not natural. What the hell was that?
I
So,
have no idea.
So, Ludain, you may not notice, you have no shadow. We have no shadows. No one has shadows. And I am in incredible pain. That hurt.
Hmm.
Did you not have your eyes open? Did you not notice the great change that just happened?
I noticed that things got brighter for a moment, but I didn't feel anything.
I knew ignorance was bliss, but my friend, ignorance has given you special powers.
Is this a clan thing?
I don't think so. I mean,
I-
we are two different clans. I doubt we
Well,
have any connections there.
But I have no clan.
Ah. That is... Okay, this is way above my thinking level here. So because you have no clan, you did not feel the effects?
I've heard stories before that the clanless have bizarre abilities.
That seems very unfair. But besides that point, yeah, I felt incredible pain as if something was being pulled out of me. I'm assuming, Alana, you felt the same way?
Literally like punching the ground, trying to like get over the remnant pain
Yep.
of having my body tried to be torn out of me.
I'm gonna take her spasms as a yes. Okay. So we can assume lack of shadows means La Sombra might have been involved. We could form a
No, if shadows increased, I would think the Sombra would be involved.
So what does lack of shadows mean then?
There's something mystical, but that is not my area of expertise.
It's not any of our areas of expertise.
However, we do know someone that the mystical is their expertise who doesn't happen to be a Tremere and is currently politically campaigning. So I think if you have questions, seeking out the good lady may enlighten less metaphysically and more with knowledge.
Question, Prax, can I just check with my own occult to give me a brief idea of what may have happened?
Anyone who wants to do so can roll either wits occult or intelligence occult. You'll get different information based on
I'm
that.
doing wits plus occult. 6, and I'm using a willpower.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be nice. So I get a 10. So that's 1, 2.
That's 4 successes so far, but you get to reroll the 10.
5 successes.
5 exceptional.
Nice.
So you will be able to ask me 3 questions, and I will answer them correctly.
What was the source of what affected us?
Abyssal.
Abyssal. Oh boy. Did it only affect the undead, like us?
You don't have necessarily enough information because there are currently only undead around you, but given the environmental effects, maybe not. You can make the assumption that perhaps it had wider ranging effects than just undead or the vampires. But given the fact that you don't see any kind, you don't know of any mages perhaps in the area, you don't quite have enough information to make that assumption, but given the environmental effects, you could reasonably presume that it was wider ranging than just you.
Can I assume this is in somewhere related to the sudden push for princedom?
Maybe not. Because the power you know is abyssal.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And demons don't usually care about vampire politics.
Fair enough.
Until the vampire politics get to a level of, like, nation states or, empires. A city politics isn't really going to be their jam. Now,
Okay.
Influencing a major kind ruler, that would be more in line, but influencing vampire politics is a little
Okay.
you don't count.
Well, it's nice to feel not special.
You're crunchy and taste good with ketchup, but you're really not, like, filling in a lot of ways for a demon.
We're the Diet Coke.
Yes.
And that assumes that you still have yours.
Yeah. There's
we're the Zima of souls.
We're the Zima of soul.
You might even be like a Celsius or like a...
Oh, that's worse. Oh God, I feel lessened. But so there's a moment where it's like that energy. That was abyssal. I've encountered it once in the seas before, an ancient thing I had to. Oh, so many people lost their lives in that one. But this feels similar. This was an abyssal energy. Demons. Demons were involved.
Very well, if you happen to know this, then others are likely to know this and have an idea of what could possibly cause it aside from just a demon.
Then I guess we should speak with the one you suggested.
Yes, let's go and see the good lady.
We go see Josephine.
Ooh.
Oh, I help pick up Elena after she, spasms on the ground from the pain. I help pick her up. Are you okay? I say to Elena.
I don't even look at you. I'm just like holding my abdomen, making sure everything is still in place. And I am just like, it would be prudent of you not to ask stupid questions at this very moment.
Actually, before we depart, let me go grab something really quick.
Okay.
Going back inside, rifling through the alchemical goods, looking for the symbol that says, like, represents, like, vitality, healing, health.
There are 3 of them.
Okay. I will bring out 2 of them. Recent further gifts for illuminating a situation for an acquaintance. Take these.
Oh, okay. I mean, will they help in some way, or?
They should help you with the recovery from whatever just happened.
Oh, I thank you. And then
Illuminate's maybe not the word to use at the moment. And I'll like crack the seal, the wax seal, take off the stopper and like smell it.
It smells like the best blood, the freshest, most potent, your favorite humor involved, anything that you could desire in blood.
You must have made some very interesting friends then. And I'll chug it.
You may remove all negative health status. Get rid of your bruised status. You also will gain 3 blood points.
Now, for me, just out of curiosity, my bruise will go away after like 3 hours, right? You mentioned that before. I'm going to save my blood for a special occasion.
I am not. I am about enjoying the niceties in the moment.
Huh.
I will, as I finish it off, I'll even like do like the bar thing, and I'll like tip it back like a shot glass.
Mhm.
I'll just have it to make sure I get every last bit out of it.
It is
And
so
then when-
tasty.
This is very good. This is very good. Where did you say you got this from again?
An acquaintance that is tied to the lord of this island.
You've been holding out on me, my friend.
No, it's literally what I've been doing since you left.
All right. So then, with that out of the way, I think, and you clearly see me putting this bottle like in a coat somewhere. It's like, this is my special pocket. This is this is my Phoenix down. I'm gonna put this in my pocket over here and get ready for this journey. It's like, let's go find ourselves a potential prince and talk to her about the fact that there may be a demon on this island, which apparently is another danger we need to worry about. I thought it was just picking a prince, but no, there's a demon. That's fine. That's great. That's perfect. That's fine. 100%. Not worried at all.
Maybe we don't say those words so loudly.
No one's around us except for the pigs, unless you think the pigs are gonna listen in on this.
No, but the farmers that keep the pigs might.
Valid point. I will be more quiet. I apologize. And if any farmers heard, you heard nothing, or I will have to kill you, and I don't want to kill you necessarily. Someone needs to farm. I look around for a farmer.
I mean, it's late enough in the night that you don't see anybody.
But I know one is hidden somewhere. You hear me, farmer?
I
Quiet.
thought you were going to stop yelling.
Sorry. But that farmer knows what he's heard.
Just gonna start walking in a direction.
Yep.
Yep.
So I have a vitally important question. Do any of you know where to find Giuseppina?
Nope.
Why I started walking in a direction.
Sulu Dane?
I'm sure.
Since I've been here the longest of the three of us, do I at least know of like where this lady like shops, is seen? Again, she is a woman of wealth and means.
Yes, but she doesn't flaunt it, right? Like she
Yeah.
is not.
So like an intelligence politics to know, possibly?
Probably.
Okay. Let's roll that and see how things go.
I'll accept that.
Three successes.
I'd say with three successes, you would know generally what area of the city she lives in. Which is, she is frequently seen around the Piazza del Duomo, which is the center of town, and it is the piazza of the cathedral, right? The Piazza del Duomo is the open space in front of the cathedral. You know, and the houses that are near there are the people who don't need to pretend that they are, you know, they're the old money, not the new money.
Yes. Any of those buildings have a familial crypt?
There are two that have their own, that you know would have their own. Oop, hello, hold on, let me fix that. That would have their own chapels.
Okay.
But familial crypts are kind of frowned on.
Oh.
Inside the city limits.
Mm.
You know.
Fair.
For a variety of reasons. Sanitation.
Fair. But the
And so
chapels, like again, she.
Yeah.
that helps me narrow it down because it's either she is most definitely not in those places or she's definitely in those places.
She's frequently seen around there, and you can think of two houses that are large enough for, you know, that, and have their own family chapels.
Mm-hmm.
You would also be aware, right, like, with 3 successes in your general understanding of, well, how much is Sir Ludain aware of modern, contemporary clan politics?
Before coming here, I was teaching the scion of a Lasombra cardinal,
Okay.
and this is predating the Sabbat. He just happens to be a cardinal within the Catholic Church.
Yes, he just, you know, is just
I
happens to be a Catholic. So
I I'm kind of somewhat up on the recent politics.
so you would know about the not public, but the strife in Clan Cappadocius between the Cappadocians and the Giovanni, and the push the Giovanni have of trying to kill a number of Cappadocians.
Ah,
So you would know that she's not gonna. That she's trying to be.
she's trying to be subtle. She's there isn't like a giant, like, since we're getting the sequel, Beetlejuice like sign
Yes.
saying I am here.
No.
You know, it's everything is far more understated. Got it.
Yes. So you're reasonably sure that she would be in the center of town, in the Piazza del Duomo, and that in one of these piazzas, palazzos, that has their own chapels.
It's one of likely 3 villas towards the center of town.
So let us go to the first one and go from there.
Again, look, the most important thing is to see which one has some light on, as there is probably some festivities. But
So-
it's not going to be absolutely overt.
So you're saying we need to prepare for a party? Perfect. I'm wonderful at parties. To the party, and I start walking away.
Considering what you just experienced, I would think it would be more a bunch of people recovering from some form of distress.
He has not heard a thing you just said. He's already walking away.
You make friends with very interesting people, Sir Ludain. Is that a northerner thing, or?
No, it's just my luck.
To the party!
Well, very loud. And I will walk a good distance behind him.
Good news is, if the guards are especially hostile, he'll be the first one to know.
So yes, I'm gonna try to find the house that's having a party.
Okay. That, I feel like, is indeed a roll.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it is I feel like perception. Well, no, you're looking for something very specific. I'll take intelligence investigation.
Intelligence plus investigation. Is there a negative for you if you don't have the skill?
Nope, you just don't get to roll as many dice.
Okay, then I'm just gonna use a willpower because I do not want to utterly fail this roll. So I use willpower plus. Oh, that explodes. So 3 successes so far. 4 successes. You know what? If there's anything I know how to find a party.
You know, I'd believe it of a gangrel.
Yeah.
There's a party happening. The two people I can guarantee that will show up at the party will inappropriately are going to be a gangrel and a Ravnos for different
100%.
reasons.
Yes. I just show up like they turn around, it's like, where'd you come from? And I'm just holding a blood drink. Hey.
Fair. You would find them. There is a party going on. The remains of a party. In there we go. Okay. Where is the Piazza del Duomo? I need to find it on my map. Alright. So, Cathedral Metropolitana della Nativia de Maria Santissimi. The Piazza del Duomo, and then we have there is a palazzo just south with a particular church in it. It is known as the Chiesa di Santa Lucia alla Badia, the church with the burial of Santa Lucy. But it's actually attached to a palazzo, and there's a fly that was right in front of my face. So it is well known. It is very gorgeous, and I can show you this image. It is very pretty, but you can hear the sounds of music playing coming from this palazzo, but also a distortion, shall we say, in the shadows that are there. The shadows aren't missing, but they seem to be fluctuating. And you can also just kind of see a number of people that kind of look like they belong there. And it is, you know, you found the place.
Okay.
I don't know how he does it, but he has an amazing sense of direction.
Okay, we need to be super subtle and be the life of the party. Both words that I, of course, combined together properly. Okay. I go up the steps. Now, let me lead. When it comes to parties, I know the subtlety that is necessary to get to the people you want. And I kick the door.
You're going to kick the door open?
Yes.
We back up. We just
I'm not associated with him. We're within a different group. We just happen to be arriving at similar times.
So, 2, 3, 4 successes. I have a very important question, sir.
Shoot.
Can you roll me Dex Brawl? Because that's your dodge in this.
Dex plus Brawl.
There's actually dodge. There's a dodge skill.
Oh, there is a dodge skill.
Not...
It is the optional one. It's not automatically on the sheet.
This is true. If you don't have
but
dodge...
there is a dodge.
There is a dodge. If you don't have a dodge, then you have to use Dex Brawl. But
then I'll use Dex Brawl. Dex Brawl. Let's see here. For me, that would be for 8. 1, which is -1, so 2 successes so far.
Or 3 successes so far.
Oh, 3 successes so far. Okay, and then I got the D10. 4 successes.
You manage to just dodge as a sword comes swinging right at your neck level.
And I do a backwards dodge as the sword goes right above me, and I go up. It's like, that is not how you invite a new person to a party.
You bust in the doors. Who are you? State your business. And this is a individual heavy wearing armor. Not heavy armor because it's not really appropriate for the climate, but full armor and a sword. And he is pointing it at you, going, what the fuck are you doing here? Before
hello?
I stab you again.
Hello, I am Pietro. This is Alana. This is Sir Ludain. We're all
We're
together.
not there.
We,
we're
There's
not.
no one
Are
behind
you?
you.
You are alone.
okay, this is. Well, hello, I am Pietro. I heard there was a party here. I wish to talk to certain individuals and just say hello. Perhaps busting down the door I thought it was that to a party, but I was wrong and I apologize. But I just want to come in and enjoy the festivities and perhaps talk to certain individuals.
Okay, so you definitely need charisma persuasion.
Mm-hmm. Persuasion I don't think is a skill. I think
It's not a skill on the sheet. You could use charisma expression. There we go.
Oh, okay, charisma expression. Okay,
It
and this
is-
one
It is the,
I'm going to use a willpower in that because I don't want to get stabbed again. So that's 3 dots for me. That is 2 successes plus the 1, so 3 successes total.
So he's gauging you. He's not considering you, not approaching you threateningly, but he's not putting the sword down.
So that's a good for me going in, bad for me going in. I'm trying to assess
Wait
the mood
here
right
while
now.
I determine if you are welcome.
Of course, I will stand here proudly.
And he slams the door in your face
Oof.
as he walks.
And I turn around and was like, really? I thought we were in this together. I say into the empty air.
Does the empty air
We're
respond?
around the corner. I'm just around the corner. We're just leaning there, like
It's just
we'll see what happens.
I love that the both of us are just probably just looking at each other, just waiting.
Yep. Fun fact, this church used to have a Caravaggio. Wouldn't have had it this time. They moved the Caravaggio in 2020 because of COVID and the fact that the Chiesa di Santa Lucia La Badia doesn't have as much security as the bigger building. But it's a beautiful Baroque. Currently looks like a Baroque church. It didn't quite look like that at the time, but it was there, and it was attached to a villa or palazzo. So a minute goes by, just long enough, Pietro, to make it obvious that somebody is keeping you waiting, but not so much to be insulting, but like that level of like, you are being an asshole. Now we're going to be passive-aggressive response, so you know that we know that you're being an asshole.
Unsurprisingly, not the first time I've had that treatment.
Yeah, well, maybe not kick down so many doors.
I mean, honestly, if you're going to be life apart, you need to kick down a door or two.
And yeah.
And I'm just there, just hands, just fully expecting the door to open. People, DX up is like, do. I am Pietro, and I am awesome, and more people will want to know me. Do.
So the door eventually opens. But it's not the door that you're expecting. It's actually the door that's slightly across the street.
Mm-hmm.
To the actual palazzo instead of just to the church. The building is now called the Palazzo Borgia de Casale because the Borgias bought it, but they won't buy it for another 200 years. And I'll put the link in chat because you can see what the Borgias did, or the Baroque remodel did to this building. And the last picture is, or one of the night pictures is you see the church on the left with the 3 stories and the palazzo on the right with the. But yes, it's a very beautiful building that you can actually rent for for public events. Baroque remodels. What can you say?
So it goes like, oh, perhaps I shouldn't have kicked down the church door. For next time. And I start walking over there.
And an individual comes out wearing that same green turban. It is not Zubir, though. And it's also very obviously a ghoul.
Hello, ghoul who is ghouling. How you doing?
Huh.
Oh,
The lady will see you now. Are
I
you by
appreciate.
yourself, or should I
Oh,
arrange
I have
for
2
more chairs?
2 more chairs. My 2 allies are right over there, and they will definitely come for the conversation. Allies, please come.
This is a really strong word for someone I met just yesterday.
He is not my responsibility, but I feel at this moment I need to apologize.
Sergio Dade
Yes.
and Alana I just met yesterday, but Sergio Dade has been friends with me for years. Surprisingly, I have so few friends for some odd reason, but Sergio Dade has stuck with me for many, many years despite so many differences. But you know what? He's a strong friend. I would never betray him. He stuck with me so much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to
Really?
I'm going to get stabbed tonight, aren't I?
I will mourn your death.
This is going swimmingly.
And I'll just, pat myself down, and then they'll be like, and they'll come out very gracefully out from the corner.
I take the bodyguard position behind Elena.
Mm-hmm. 3 chairs, please.
This
And as we
way.
get closer, I'm just like, he does not speak for me. I am so sorry for any of his actions. I just met him yesterday. Honestly, we met on the walk here.
But we're still together.
That
One group. We have the same itinerary, the same goals.
Not that the family needs it, but for the repairs for the door, and I just give him 5 gold.
It just disappears quickly in that manner of someone who,
Yeah.
Is used to accepting bribes or other things,
Mhm.
compensation, and leads you through the doorway up a staircase to the 2nd floor, down a corridor, and into a room that all of you, it's not hard to do, are aware faces this church, right? Like, they're technically across the street, but this is facing the church and is down the hallway enough that it would be probably this this doorway is going to line up perfectly with the I used to know this term. The asp of the church. There we go. And the ghoul opens a door and bows you in. Lady Giuseppina, your guests. I will bring... and he goes to say, I will bring... And she just raises her hand and says, we already have the chairs, thank you. Please bring refreshments, however. I do appreciate you, Giovanni.
Lady Giuseppe, how are you doing today? I'm sorry for the way I knocked previously. I thought the party was in the church, but it's in the side room over here, and well, I like to make an entrance. You understand?
I mean, you could try to roll charisma
Sure.
performance on that one.
Charisma. Oh, I have no. Oh, you know what? Not even gonna use a willpower. Subtle as a brick. Let's see what happens. Oh, I had a success, but I also have a 1, so I have no successes, period.
But not a botch.
But not a botch.
Yeah, she just kind of doesn't acknowledge that.
Mm-hmm.
It is sorry to bother you on such a nice night, Lady Giuseppina.
Please,
However,
have a seat. I'm more than happy to deal with any of my constituents.
we had a concerning moment over. I don't know where you are. Where's it? Is it near the docks, the church?
So
It's the center of town. We were
Center of
where
town.
we were on the edge of town.
So
Actually, just outside.
Syracuse is interesting because the original Greek settlement is on an island peninsula that goes into the harbor, and then the city expanded north and west onto the mainland, and that's where the oldest sections of the town are still on this island. So that farm would have been, outside the, outside the city limits, which is off the island, and on the mainland, but probably would still within the city limits of the modern city.
Mm-hmm. We were over by the outer city limits, and we experienced a terribly concerning phenomena, and we can make a couple of assumptions as to what may have happened, but we thought we would come and speak to someone who knows much more than we do when it comes to that of the mystics. It was very concerning. It did a tremendous amount of damage to some of our persons. Luckily, there were some mixers that were able to assist, but it is a concerning thing to not know what happened.
Yes, it felt demonic in nature, if I will be 100% honest, which makes sense why our friend Soludane felt nothing. His faith probably protected him in some way.
Or he is just of that strong a constitution. I am also aware of this disconcerting feeling. Some felt it, some were strong enough to avoid it, some a power of their strength and faith withheld them, some did not. I am currently not happy. Is there something in particular you wish to know, or I'm always happy to help, of course.
I mean, if one would ask a question, perhaps you can determine where it came from, if you perhaps know a general direction to be pointed towards.
Or something to avoid.
North and west.
Hmm.
How far? I could not say.
Hmm.
Why did I do that?
As a potential person who might become a prince, do you have any attack plans, perhaps, or directions individuals who might be interested might point to?
I still have no knowledge yet. I'm glad you think that I have, for a mere hour. I'm very good at getting information, but even I need a little bit more.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I was just, hoping. But yeah, so I just don't like being attacked by things I cannot see. It's not a good experience for me.
I generally agree in avoiding demons when at all possible.
I mean, fair. I had one encounter previously in one of my trips. It was not pleasant.
So you're saying this is a demon?
It was definitely abyssal. It was definitely probably demonic energy. A demon itself attacking on this island is out of likelihood. An agent. An object, perhaps?
An
Do you
object?
think that this has anything to do with the current political climate?
I could see a demonic interest in Frederick's new turn of power, but our interests? Demons
Oh.
rarely care about kindred. We don't taste good.
Oh, but if one of us was in the thrall of something that cursed,
Can one of all become enthralled by a demon?
Well,
anything can sell itself to the dark forces.
and sometimes they can look very attractive.
Hmm.
I mean, honestly, I would believe it of a Tremere. But the
Huh.
direction is wrong.
True. True. As we know, Tremere will sell their power to anybody.
Yes, but I don't think the young upstart is going to go that far afield and get caught red-handed that quickly.
Yes, I will say this about her. She's smarter than she looks.
She just gives you that, know something smile.
All right.
My lady, do you perhaps know something I do not?
I probably know many things you do not.
Perhaps specifically.
It's just like an unsubtle, enthusiastic head nodding.
And I just like, I started laughing, but I play it off as a cough to not hurt my new friend's feelings.
But I hear Pietro just looks at it, just gives her a look. Is like, all right, I know we're being played. It's like specifically about our lady, the Tremere lady we were talking about 5 seconds ago.
Oh, the whore.
Okay, well, there's some anger there. I see.
Oh, do we mean literally or?
Like, I mean, does she go around, or is it just a term of endearment you're going for?
Oh, you don't know about her previous profession? She married
Oh.
well.
Oh, you mean whore? Okay, okay.
I believe the term that they prefer is courtesan.
Oh no, she was a whore. She just
Good
did
to
very well
know.
to get pregnant at the right time.
And she took that pregnancy to term and was turned later, or is she one of the originals that took part in some ritual to gain our powers?
Probably the latter.
Well,
Was she okay? Now I'm curious. Was she pregnant when she took the ritual? Because that's an entirely different thing.
no,
No.
likely delivered the child.
Okay.
No,
That
she
is.
took the child to term. At least that one, I believe. She is old enough that, as far as I'm aware, she's only had one child at birth.
Interesting.
And then I believe she went on a little trip to fund her husband's investments.
Investments.
Went further east, I take it.
Rumor has it he was Carthaginian.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know. That's that being illuminating, but beside the initial point of coming to see you, good lady. It is of not just my opinion, but the opinion of a number of others, that at least for the time being, the care of this good city should be in your hands.
Hmm. I'm glad to have your support, Sir Ludain.
Mm-hmm.
Do not take this as any form of flattery. The cupboard is bare. In it was a gold piece, a pearl, and a dead lizard. Someone has already made off with the gold piece, and no one wants to use the dead lizard.
But a pearl is beyond great price.
Yes, but under enough pressure, it can crack.
Depends what the pearl is made around.
At this point, Pietro turns to Orlando. I think they're doing like this political, like metaphor thing right now.
Do not speak to me at this moment.
Okay, fine. I understand.
But you are not the only pantry that's being raided.
No.
There's at least one other, I'm guessing, but there may be multiple cities on this island that the true lord deems necessary to have someone managing the property.
Only two.
Only two.
Really? Can you think of another city other than the Syracuse beyond Palermo that would have any benefit to our little Lord Lasombra?
I do not pretend to know the Lord's mind.
Nothing else on this island would qualify as a city. Even a backwater.
So, given your directional feelings, would this demonic emanation come from Palermo, possibly?
Palermo is northwest of this, but so are many places.
Yes,
But Palermo is the only place, as you have mentioned, that would have any sort of political hold on this island.
Only political hold we are discussing for kindred, and as I said,
Hmm.
demons rarely care about kindred politics. Now, if we're talking about human politics, it is the bastion of Frederick's empire, at least on this island, his mother's palace. I did like her. She was very pleasant, very devout. But there are
the impressions I got on the mainland was she was beloved.
I would agree with that statement. Unfortunately, she fell in with the wrong kind of cardinals.
That is always an issue. So what we know now is northwest there might be a demonic presence, possibly for Palermo, possibly not. We don't know for sure. And that's about it, is why I understand it.
Palermo is the only place that would have enough importance for a demon to actually, care.
Probably. Or Messina,
Interesting.
because it's the first port, but it's not the right direction.
Now, this feels deliberate, not happenstance. If it was some sort of accidental thing, I could see Messina, but the timing makes it so that I suspect it actually does have something to do with Lissombra's change in management.
Interesting. So the question becomes then, should we do anything about this?
Why? What
Could it
can you
affect us?
propose to do?
I'm just curious if there's anything we need to do. There's a demonic presence on the island somewhere. Should we... I'll be honest, my knowledge of demons is limited. I had a presence of demons, and I wisely ran away because demon. But if it's on the island,
So you wish to become unwise and run towards the demon?
listen, it was one thing when I was on a ship, but I'm on an island where this demonic presence can spread. I don't want it to spread.
At the moment, I do not believe there is any concern of that. It was short-lived, under power, enough for us to be overwhelmed. Or some of us, at least. But I may have already discussed with certain individuals a way in which to deal with this.
Then it is essentially out of our hand and we don't have to worry about it. It's perfect.
It pays to have certain individuals who have already sworn fealty. The children of Hakim will always be useful.
Interesting.
So you're the reason they're here.
One of. I do know that Lord Lasombra, she wouldn't say my, she would say Lord Lasombra. I do know that Lord Lasombra has had contracts with them before. But this particular individual I know very well.
I see.
Well, aside from that, do you have any advice in dealing with another, if potentially there was another moment of that attack? A way to counteract it?
There are a few ways. How much blood do you wish to spill? And how strong is your faith?
Enough not to die. And
How much blood are we talking about? As for faith, I believe there's somebody up there. That's about it. Gonna be honest, don't really think about faith too much, but it's gonna be more blood than faith in my regard. I'll be 100% honest with you. Like a lot of blood, little blood.
fair amount of faith on my side. Need to find better people to be near.
I am surprised that one of yours is associating with them.
It is, try something new. New island, try something new. See what's around.
I'll be honest, I feel like I'm being talked about, but you know what? It's fun. They laugh and joke, but once you're in the middle of a fight, you want me at your side.
There's
We'll see.
a long pause and then like a slight acknowledgement that you're not wrong, but she's not saying you're right.
Okay.
But like quietly mouthing, like I like the idea of like Udain's like behind these two, and he just mouths, "It's true." Like this is one of the times when like Udain is actually not heavily like stepping up for Pietro, but like somewhat.
Cutscene to all the times we've battled together is like, I'm a monster in the both good ways and bad ways associated. But you know what? I'm loyal to my friends.
Yeah.
Unless you betray me and I eat you.
Yeah, but she's also a high clan Cappadocian who is looking at a gangrel going, You're useful.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm in that kind of fight, I don't. But she's also. Roll in wits. Wits, either hearth wisdom or politics.
Both of the same for me. I'm gonna go with for fun because I never get to roll this hearth wisdom. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, and I get to roll that d10. 5, I get to roll that again. 5 successes.
So with those 5 successes, she has already said that she has a child of Hakim on her staff. She doesn't get into fights.
True.
She has somebody that she points at that arranges for the fight to never happen. So she's not discounting you as a useful person in a fight, but she would rather not get to a point where she has to have a full-out altercation. She'd rather stab somebody in the back repeatedly.
Yeah,
Wise.
I understand this, but at the same time, in Ludain's mind, there is just this phrase that also is associated with Pietro. There could be werewolves.
Yes, there could be.
And then Pietro is number one friend.
Like, and I think that's like where she is generally. She's like, if I had to get to a fight of politics, I've already lost, but then you'd be useful. If I get invaded by werewolves, you're very useful. Maybe if like the Inquisition comes, I can point you at them, but I should probably be okay with that one because I'm very religious, right? Like, it's not that you're not useful. She just doesn't like. Her goals are to avoid having to use you.
Fair enough.
Which I feel is less of an insult and more just a differing management style.
Different political standings, yes.
Yes.
And I mean, you can be useful, but I am hopeful that it doesn't come to an all-out fight like that.
Fair enough.
But in answer to your question, you need at least 2 kinds worth of human bloods. And then perhaps enough sacrifice for yourself Mechanically speaking, you would have to lose at least 4 blood points
Ah,
to protect yourself.
perhaps we should let other people, with wiser decisions deal with this demonic problem. We could just, figure out, worry about the political machinations that are happening in the city. Perhaps.
Hmm.
Would th- would that be is that this a temporary protection or just like a long-term protection?
It's if you ask her about it, I'm going to explain in mechanics terms just because it's faster rather than going through her. It
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it is permanent until it's broken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it will last until perhaps another attempt by an abyssal thing breaks it. It would have to overcome the 4 blood points, which is a roll that the abyssal thing would have to roll. Hi, I would do that. But if it's like a ward, right? It's basically what she's saying is she's
Yeah.
creating you a ward. So the ward itself
Mhm.
will contain it doesn't have to be renewed, but the minute it's broken, it'll take that one big hit. It'll be broken, and then you would have to either survive and then put it back up or die.
And mechanically wise, those blood points those blood points I just got from that potion, would those be able to count?
Yes.
Then
And you can
as she
recover
is
your blood points because, you just have to kill some more.
then as she is explaining this to me, I would say, well, then it is something that I would be greatly interested in.
Then we will have to have a private conversation. I do not think that the gentlemen in your company are prepared for the level of fun
You'll
that we are
get-
going to have.
You're getting into dark levels of mysticism. That you are correct. That is a specialty that I do not wish to necessarily walk them.
And I have trust issues. So I'll be fine. I'll be fine. My wits will be enough.
In that case, do you wish to do this now or later?
If you have time now, I am not busy, if you boys do not mind.
I think, Elena, you are perfectly in good hands with the good lady, and myself and Pietro will head back towards the night market and then the monastery. And if you are still up around later, you are more than welcome to swing by the monastery. But we should probably let you get into the thick of a very wondrous and new education.
Of course.
Well, then enjoy your night's shopping, and I shall see you later.
See you later.
In the interest of time, she is going to lead you down. Just take your arm in hers and walk with you out the door and just wave at the 2 gentlemen and point to the ghoul, again in the green turban, who will lead you out. But she'll lead you further into what looks like a private chapel almost in this space. And proceed to explain and induct you into certain protections because, of course, her Lord Cappadocius and the Lord God can protect you from the abyssal, but you need to have certain things. And unlike the Tremere, who steal all of their shit, the Cappadocians, have the faith, so much so that Cappadocius himself, went the whole 9 yards and crucified himself to kind of show off that he is God. It may or may not be, or a son of God. It gets kind of fuzzy. He's real religious. and like I'm really powerful and really religious and kind of the same. But she will show you because of that. There's a certain level, and you said yourself that you had a level of faith, right? There is a level of faith required to support this kind of magic, and it really is a ward. And she would give you a gold cross that has been soaked in the blood of two kine and the 4 blood points that you're going to sacrifice, which are recoverable, of course, if that doesn't put you back over your max. Well, no, you can go above your max if we're eating whatever. And you can feel the magic in it. If for any reason that she would also inform you that this particular cross, for if you were someone for whom walking into holy ground or consecrated ground was a problem, could also overcome that. So it'll protect you from the abyssal. It'll protect you from certain things tied to truth, faith, and inquisitors. It will also hide enough of your vampire aura that you could not necessarily pass for human, but unless someone who is from aura sight, someone who is actively looking at it, would have to look twice to confirm that you're a vampire. And if perhaps you had ever diablerized anyone, it might possibly hide that too for a little while, but not
wild.
Not hide it so much as make it a little bit less obvious.
All from this little cross.
And 4 blood points in the sacrifice of 2 humans. Yep.
It's a small price to pay. After it is over, I'll just very graciously thank the lady for allowing me to both witness and have this I'm trying to think of a word that's not boon, but like this very nice thing that she has given me and done for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will leave.
Yep. It's a very nice thing she did for you. You paid for it, though.
Yeah. It's very nice that she helped me with her ability, but I did still have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. And not for nothing, you know, it isn't stated, but she fully expects your support.
Yeah, like Sir Ludine said, like, do I really have another choice? Given that if I can vote for this thing, do I really have another choice?
I mean, theoretically, you could vote for the Tremere.
I mean, what am I? A Tremere?
That's fair. And, the Cappadocians have never looked down upon any of the Ravnos.
She's never tried to kill me as of yet. So, like, so far, only checks on her side.
Exactly. Only checks on her side. But I think that's where we're going to end for tonight. You now have protections from certain things, and so you won't need to roll against. Well, you will, but for other reasons. But you have that protection. Yay! Aren't you happy?
I am, after that only one success that I got because I used willpower. I'm very happy about it.
And you guys were only bruised, as opposed to certain other people who were much closer to the epicenter.
Mm-hmm.
Who are in a lot worse shape than you are.
I saw you see that episode because apparently it got crazy.
Yep, the answer is it did. But thank you all for being here. Thank you all of my wonderful players for being here. I'll do my spiel at the end, but we're gonna go around, let everybody say where you can find them, share some love, share some joy, something you enjoyed today, and all the fun things. So why don't we go in reverse order? Why don't we start with Pope? Hey Pope, how are you?
Hey.
Thank you again for being here.
Oh, always a pleasure. Especially with this group. It's a delight. Um, hey everybody, Pope here. Pope real build on the internets. Um, there's not much business, so we'll do that first. The pleasure. If you want to see more of this silly face, you actually get another opportunity this week over on channel Other Doc on Tuesday at I want to say around 7:30, 8 p.m. We just started up this past week a campaign of Nine Fox Gambit. It is a dark sci-fi dystopia that, if you are a fan of both 40K and Exalted, this is like they had a baby, a very dystopian baby. And I am playing possibly the most evil character I have ever portrayed. So much so it takes me some work to decompress from that. It's kind of intense. However, we still have fun as Jim makes unintentional innuendos and we all have a great time. So if that sounds like your jam, we'd love to have you. And then be back here next week to see the fallout, I think is a good term, from what Team High Clan has done, as one of them has thrown their hat in the political ring. Less so politically, more sup, bro, I'm the biggest one here. That was before the detonation that occurred at Elysium.
I'm sure it will be so much fun.
And I had a great amount of fun here with Sir Legane and these fantastic folks. Elena, just like, I'm kind of bored. Let's see what the boys are up to. I have made the worst possible decision for my evening. The only saving grace is Sterling Dane has interesting acquaintances, and ooh, I now know wards. Sweet. So enjoy your travels down, vampiric mysticism and all of the absolutely terribly powerful corrupting things you can do with it. God, Cappadocian magics in Dark Ages are so cool and incredibly strong. And then Pietro being just the absolute disaster gangrel. Like, I am now almost certain, Prax, that Pietro is an ancestor of a very specific gangrel.
I could see it, and I might play with that.
Like, great grandsire sort of like ancestry here, and I'm just like, this makes too much sense now.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
if you're interested as to what I'm alluding to over on Wandering DM, there is an entire wonderful story GM'd by Prax with vampires in the modern era in New York. I most vociferously recommend it. Like, if you've got some downtime and you just need a good vampire fix, you can't ask for too much better. So please go seek that out, and please follow these absolutely wonderful people. If we've learned nothing over the past few years, you need good people in your life, and these are all good people. So thank you so much for being here. Story is nothing without science. You're much part of this. We are. Take care of yourselves and one another, and I'll see you soon.
And just for those looking around, I'll drop the link to the playlist for that game, Vampire Nightfall, in the chat for you, so you can go find it. All 24 episodes of it, and be, fun. And next up, hey PB, how you doing? How's life going for you? You have now been inducted into certain religious and mysticism things.
It just happens sometimes. Sometimes you just kind of trip into it. I'm PB from PB Blades Inside, where you can find me over on Twitch and Blue Sky and sometimes Twitter. And I am right now over on my channel, just kind of like having a chill time, doing variety things. Occasionally throwing in some prep for solo TTRPG things coming down the road. But it's been like a busy couple of months, so going into September isn't any less busy, but I'm hoping to have more energy to do fun things. So aside from that, right now this is my only show. So what a show today. Like, I just wasn't like, I think the surprising thing to me, aside from, should it be surprising that the gangrel would do such things? Probably not, but somehow I still was. And kicking down the door was like, I thought you were just gonna very loudly knock on it. When you said kick the door, I was like, kick the what now? Do the what? And it was a phenomenal choice. I loved it, but it was really funny. And then for Sir Ludain, I'm constantly surprised by Sir Ludain's character in what he knows, but more importantly, like how he works, I guess. I don't know what I imagine this man in full armor from the north did to live as a living, but I was not expecting information past her honor. Maybe I shouldn't have been surprised about that. But he has friends in interesting places, and that is very interesting to Alina. And I'm very interested to find out more about my two odd companions as we continue on this adventure, and hopefully not die from demons. And I don't know, maybe this new fun thing I found is going to be tripped into, will be, and help me out here in the future.
Yep. So, I'm going to tell you, PB, that thank you for being here. Thank you for playing. You are going to get, you're going to get basically an introduction ritual from the Cappadocians. Fun times. It'll be great, but I'll send that to you later, and it'll be a joy. And then last but certainly not least, hey Jesus, how you doing? How's life going for you? Feeling okay?
I'm good, and I'm imagining like just she just gives Elena just a pamphlet. It's like necromancy and you, and just hands it over. But yeah, hey guys, I'm Jesus. You can find me as Arvanis on most of the socials. I am part of a podcast called Fanable. We've played a variety of role-playing games for a variety of years, almost 15 at this point. God, I'm old. But I also have a YouTube channel called Arvanis, where I basically go over the lore of various tabletop role-playing games because I'm that type of nerd. And as for what's happened today, first off, Sir Ludain and Pietro, how are they friends? I mean, they're two very different people, but apparently Pietro's attached. He trusts him to be the brains and he's the muscle. And by muscle, I mean claw in the face. And Elena is just, she's there and she's like, what have I stepped into? Because this is a mess. This is just chaos personified. And I have no regrets playing Pietro as he is, because this is the type of character I'm playing. And you know what? We appreciate someone who's in the front, willing to take that shot, and will probably die doing it, but he'll be happy. And I haven't watched the Nightfall episodes, but from what I've heard, apparently I'm an answer. So you know what? I'm proud to have this future kindred as my kin. He gets it.
Yeah, it'll be great. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it when you finally get to it. It'll be great.
just absolutely no. That now it's confirmed.
It's canon now.
Yep. Uh, but thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching, whether again live or on YouTube or the VODs. And I apologize. It's been very very busy in work the last 2 weeks. We had a couple people out, so worked a lot more hours than usual, and because of that, I have not been able to keep up with a lot of things. But tomorrow I have off. So tomorrow, a lot of things are going to get done, including updating the YouTube and a whole bunch of other stuff. So you can check out the VODs. Hi, there is indeed a YouTube. And you'll also going to be updating the merch store so that you can check out that and also support the channel that way. I do have a Ko-Fi. Ko-Fi, again, all goes into this running the channel, getting things done, paying when I can for overlays, all of those kind of things. Thank you again for being here. I'm your friendly neighborhood Prax, at Deirdre on Twitter, Praxagora Thesmiophora, you see me around here on Twitch, Prax the Bard over on Instagram, Hive, and Blue Sky. And I will just say we're going to be having some fun, because next week we get Team High Clan, and they get to deal with Fallout. And then the next 2 weeks, both Team High Clan and Team Low Clan are off. And instead, we're going to have 2 guests do one-shots on the 15th and the 22nd. And I am just going to give you these 2 little hints. Not announcements, just little hints. On the 15th, we are going to see one of my most favorite characters at a different point in history than we met them last. And they don't have their warehouse yet. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Pope knows. Pope has realized some things. And that face. And then on the 22nd, we're going to have another character played by another friend who will be very interesting to see what chaos they bring back to this channel, because we always miss them when they are not here, and the joyous drama that they bring. But we're going to see that 2 weeks, and then we'll come back with Team Low Clan again. So 3 weeks until Team Low Clan comes back. Plenty of time to rewatch the VODs so that we all remember our notes and are ready for going. So, but thank you all for being here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for all the funs, all the follows, all of that joy and good stuff. Let us see, however, where, if anybody is up, so that we can send a raid. What did they... I don't like this. I don't like this. Why did they get rid of the follow button? What? Joy. Anybody? Hold on. Nope. Okay. So it doesn't look like anybody I know is up. And so we're just going to end it here for tonight and say have a good night, everybody. And see you next week for Team High Clan. Well,